What's going on, everyone? Matt here for the Matt Film Show. Guys, and you can make sure thumbs up, subscribe if you guys like. Let's get right into today's video. And today I'm gonna be giving you guys a brand new video discussing my review on the live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. This is a live action remake of the 2010 film How to Train Your Dragon, made by DreamWorks Animation. This is the first ever DreamWorks animated movie to get remade into live action. I'm gonna give you guys the premise, the cast, and my overall thoughts on this movie. The premise is on a rugged Isle of Berk, where Vikings and dragons have been bitter enemies for generations. Hiccup stands apart, the inventive yet overlooked son of Chief Stoic the Vast. Hiccup defies centuries of tradition when he befriends Toothless, a night fairy dragon. The unlikely bond reveals the true nature of the dragons, challenging is the very foundations of the Viking society. The movie stars Mason Thames as Hiccup Horrendous, Nico Parker as Astrid Hoferson, Gerard Butler as Stoic the Vast, Nick Frost as Garber the Belch, and Julian Dennison as Fishlegs Ingerman. So like I said, this is a remake of the 2010 animated film How to Train Your Dragon. I seen that movie for the first time a couple months ago in preparation for this one. At this time, I have not seen How to Train Your Dragon at that time, and so I knew that this movie was coming out. I knew I was gonna watch the remake. I did not want to watch this remake and watch the original. I wanted to watch the original animated film first before watching this, and I really enjoyed How to Train Your Dragon. I do not know why it took me so long until now to watch it. I should have watched it. It's been out since 2010 for 15 years now, and 15 years later, I finally watched How to Train Your Dragon. There's 3 movies of trilogy of How to Train Your Dragon. I have not seen How to Train Your Dragon 2 yet, or The Hidden World, the 3rd one. I only seen the first one because of this live action remake. But I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with How to Train Your Dragon. I really enjoyed the character of Hiccup. His father Stoic, the whole Viking settings type thing, I thought was very cool. I'm not very interested in Vikings and all that stuff, but with How to Train Your Dragon, it made me interested in that setting because of this movie. The animated How to Train Your Dragon was very, very enjoyable. Has a lot of heart to it, a lot of charm to it. I very love Toothless and the animated movie. I really enjoyed the dragon Toothless and all the dragons. The whole when they go into the arena, you know, when they fight and all that. I thought that was very, very cool. The flying and all that animated How to Train Your Dragon. I thought that was so cool. And so I like I said, I do not know why I never saw it. Like I've never seen How to Train Your Dragon until now because of the remake. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that I seen it because I really enjoyed it. I kind of wish I would have watched it 15 years ago or something like that. You know, by the time it came out, but I slept on it. But I really enjoyed it. I really had a great time with the How to Train Your Dragon animated film. This is the first live action remake from DreamWorks. Universal Pictures, who owns DreamWorks, has never attempted a live action DreamWorks movie until now. I believe that this is the first 3D animated movie to get remade into live action. I know next year Disney is releasing Moana, which is their first 3D animated movie to get remade into live action next year with Moana. But I really enjoyed this remake. I thought this was so much fun. You know, they were able to capture the magic, the why people love How to Train that first movie. People are gonna love this even more. This is you know, when I watched this movie, I was like, yo, this is so cool. How they were able to capture the dragons. Obviously CGI, but they looked so identical to the animated film. The characters looked identical to the animated films. The whole Viking village, the whole Viking suits, the whole characters, the set pieces, everything involved with this movie exactly like the animated film, and I really, really enjoyed that. This movie is so well made. You know, I watched this movie and I was like, you know what? Universal did a great job with the first time of making a remake. You know, I knew that Universal was very, very confident in this film. People who went to CinemaCon in April got to see that movie in April. So a lot of people reviewed that movie in April who got to see it, and people loved it. And now we see now it's finally out for the public. And I have to say, man, you should go watch this movie. You know, I know Lilo and Stitch is out right now. I know, you know, they released Snow White. But you know what? This is a movie that's going to be worth your money. This is a remake that was going to be worth your money. This is a remake that you're going to love. You know, there's a lot of comparison right now with Disney. Disney has been the king of remakes since 2010's Alice in Wonderland, you know. I know the late 90s they did 101 Dalmatians, but the trend really started with Alice in Wonderland in 2010 with Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter. I do not know what plans Universal has with DreamWorks. Are they going to remake other DreamWorks properties into live action? I do not know. I know they already confirmed the second one for 2027 is getting remade. And that for me is boost of confidence. They're very confident in How to Train a Dragon, that they already announced a sequel. And this is great. I 100% they should make the sequel. This is well worth the money. You should go watch How to Train Your Dragon. This is, you know, Disney should take notes and Universal to make great remakes. Because this was a great adaptation to How to Train Your Dragon. A great adaptation to an animated feature film. You know, for the first time Universal doing something new to them, right? This is something new to DreamWorks, new to Universal. They did a great job, in my own opinion. And I'm sure they do a great job with How to Train Your Dragon too. And so Disney should take notes, because Disney has been doing this for the past 16 years, 15 years. You know, obviously they did it with 101 Dalmatians, getting close in the late 90s, but really, it really took by storm in 2010 with Alice in Wonderland, right? That's when they started doing this every year. And a lot of the remakes are not great from Disney. You know, majority of them are bad than good. You know what I mean? So, but there was so much fun. Like I said, the set pieces, the characters identical to them. I thought that something was cool about this is that they got the voice actors back into reprising the roles in live action. You know what I mean? Mason Thomas, I'm pronouncing his name, voiced Hiccup in the animated film. He plays him in live action. Gerard Butler plays the dad, Stoic the Vast. Gerard Butler voices him in the animated. He plays him in live action. You know what I mean? And everybody here from the voice actors are playing in live action. I thought that was so cool that they were able to keep that magic that worked with How to Train Your Dragon, made it work here in live action. Not only that, but bring the voice actors playing them in live action. I thought that was really cool. You know, they're doing something similar to Moana, where they're having Dwayne Johnson play the live action Maui. I'm very interested in how that's going to look like when he's, you know what I mean, in live action, how Maui's going to look like in live action, and very interested in how Moana will look like in live action, right? But overall, I thought they were able to capture everything. This is I would say, page to page, screen to screen adaptation. Every scene here is brought to life in live action. You know, this made the animated movie way better. You know, the movie is so special, so beloved. I really enjoyed it. Such a very fun animated movie. I never knew this, but it's based on the book, How to Train Your Dragon, based on the book. Never knew about this, by the way. 99% now movies now are based on the books, so I'm not surprised that it's based on something, nothing's original anymore. But the fact that they were able to just capture the magic of the first film and bring that love, that charm that people loved from the animated one, are people going to love this live action remake? I see this making huge numbers. You know, I think the first one made over 500 million. This might be close to it, man. This is going to actually make more money than Snow White. And, you know, I mean, this is going to make $500 million worldwide, maybe even more. You know, I hope this gets the word of mouth because this is a true, this Disney should look at this movie and say, you know what? This is how you make a live action. This is a proper live action adaptation. And this is the first attempt from Universal and DreamWorks. And they killed it the first time. You know what I mean? Disney has been struggling for this last decade of bad remakes, right? And Universal comes out and like, we're going to make a live action remake, How to Train Your Dragon. And they took it by storm. I remember when this movie was announced. Very interesting. How to Train Your Dragon live action. Like, what? You know what I mean? And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? It could work. They could do How to Train Your Dragon in live action. This could work. You know what I mean? And so they announced the second one. Like I said, second one comes out in 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a third one. The Hidden World will most likely get a remake. I do not know. I don't believe they have plans for a fourth animated one. I would love a fourth one, but I think right now the goal is to make a live action adaptations. You know, and I said, you know what? What is Universal's goal for this remake? Well, obviously, the goal is for this to be successful, and I'm sure it is. Very confident they're making How to Train Your Dragon 2. Very confident that they're going to make the Hidden World live action remake. Are they going to do other DreamWorks movies? Attempt to do other DreamWorks movies in live action? I don't know. I can't think of anything else that could work in live action from DreamWorks. Boss Baby could work live action. I could see that happening. I could see that working. Boss Baby could work. The other ones, it will be funny. And in my head, I'm like, I just think it looks so funny and weird, and don't think it will work with Shrek. I don't think Shrek was gonna work in live action. It's just gonna look weird. I think that Madagascar would look weird. I think that Puss in Boots is going to look weird. I think that Kung Fu Panda is going to look weird. You know, those are just popular franchises from DreamWorks that might be and that's up in discussion for a remake. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they're gonna remake Shrek and Kung Fu Panda, Puss in Boots and Madagascar. No. I'm just saying that might be up in their sleeves, might up in their thinking about. But I think right now their goal is to make How to Train Your Dragon. And hopefully for them is for this movie to be a win. I know it's gonna be a win for them. And I think that not only is this gonna be a win for them, I think that the second one will be a win for them. And I think if this does very, very well in the box office, the first one and the second one, I think 100% Universal is going to make the third one live action remake. The Hidden World is going to remake. And I will 100% guarantee you that Shrek, Puss in Boots, Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar, Shark Tale, or Boss Baby, or any of the other ones would be up for discussion for a remake. I know Shrek might sound funny. You know, I was like, Shrek live action. In my head, I think it's going to look stupid and funny. You know what I mean? Same Kung Fu Panda. Obviously, Shrek, Kung Fu Panda. If they were to do Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, Puss in Boots live action, it will obviously be CGI. All the movies going to be CGI. There's going to be a CGI cat for Puss in Boots, a CGI ogre, CGI panda for Po. I just don't see... I don't know if they're going to do photorealistic for them, or even Madagascar will be CGI as well, because they're animals. But I do not know if they're going to go to like Lion King raw or photo, live action animated, because people claim that Lion King's animated, not live action. Anyways, you know what I mean? So I do not know. I don't... It will look stupid if they do that, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it looks stupid like they shouldn't do it. Like, no, if they want to do it, I'll be down for it. But I want them to be great. And I think the first part of this adaptation, they did a great job of How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sure they're going to do a better job with the second one. I do not know what their goal is. I don't work at Universal. I don't work at DreamWorks. So I do not know if their goal is to remake everything like Disney. I think this is just a test. They're testing the waters. Should we do live action remakes? I think that's the question that Universal wants. We did How to Train It. If this does it well, we might consider doing Shrek. We might consider doing Boss Baby. We're considering Puss in Boots, right? Trolls, right? Madagascar, Shark Tale, you know what I mean? Kung Fu Panda, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, DreamWorks does have great animated movies. I always talk about this, that DreamWorks always has been killing it these last couple of years. They've been making better animated movies than Disney. So they've been killing it right now these last couple of years. DreamWorks animate better animated movies than Disney. But, you know, I do not know what the goal is. But for me, How to Train Your Dragon live action remake was a huge win. They did such an amazing job. This is what live action remakes should be. Disney should take notes, because this is the first time they did it, and they did a fantastic job. So you guys love How to Train Your Dragon, the series? You guys love the trilogy of How to Train? You guys love the series? You love the first film? You do not know, you might probably think, oh, is this going to be like Snow White? You know, you might have the taste of Snow White or whatever. No, you're going to love it. You love the animated film, you're going to love this one. Even if you haven't seen the animated one, I think you're going to enjoy this one as well. But a very enjoyable movie, fun family movie. And I think that there was a huge win for Universal and DreamWorks. And I think you guys should go watch it. But overall, very enjoyable film. I really enjoyed this movie. Great time for the summer. I think this is a great summer movie. You know, we've got a lot of other movies coming out the next couple of months, weeks and months. You know, got Pixar's Elio coming out, and Superman and Fantastic Four coming out. You know what I mean? So the summer season is starting. Banger movies are coming out throughout the summer. Great movies, and I love this. This is the perfect time. I love about the movie times. I love movies when it's the summertime and Christmas time, because those are when the best films come out. And summer started already with Ballerina, with with Thunderbolts, right? Karate Kid, right? Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Lilo and Stitch. Summer has started already, so summer's just began. There's still more summer movies coming out. Summer ain't over yet. It's just the beginning. Couple more months of banger movies. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, a lot of these other movies end up doing well and do good. But overall, a great adaptation. This is one of the best remakes that they have made. And the first one being Universal, and they killed it the first one. And all I'm going to say is that Disney should take notes, because they did a great job, Universal. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, guys, like. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the live action remake How to Train Your Dragon, and the movie overall, the animated movie, and what other DreamWorks movie would you like to see remade if they ever go to that route. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.